But the last issue I want to emphasize is the primacy of theatrical release. That all-important time period when a movie is in our theaters and our theaters alone. Okay? Some product is made for television, that's appropriate. Some product's made straight for DVD, that's also good. I'm assuming as the internet expands and download expands, some product will be made straight for the internet. But product that's made for theatrical release deserves a sustained period of time in our cinemas in order for that product to make it and grow and develop word of mouth, in order to sustain the business as a whole. And there are some of our studio partners who recently tried to experiment in the United States with a different model. And what they wanted to do was create something called premium video on demand and release movies much earlier to the home than they had ever been released. And they didn't talk to their partners in exhibition. And they didn't work out any agreements. And they just launched their trial. Exhibition responded. More importantly, as far as I'm concerned, the creative community responded. And the likes of Jim Cameron and Peter Jackson and Quentin Tarantino and a host of leading directors stood up and said, we believe in the cinema industry because we make our movies for the big screen. You want to accelerate the release, you're going to kill our art form. You're not just going to kill our art form, you're actually going to kill our business. Because when you move releases earlier, you hurt ticket sales in the cinema and you exacerbate piracy. One of the arguments you'll hear about accelerated releases is that it's better to fight piracy if you get the movies out there earlier. Quite the opposite, actually. If you hand the thieves a digital copy of the movie earlier, you're only making it easier for them to replicate a high-quality copy of the movie. If you don't believe me on this, believe Frederick Huntsberger, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Paramount, who said the same thing publicly several times, which is why, by the way, Paramount is one of those studios that oppose early release of movies to the home. They are by no means unanimous. So we went through this struggle. They had this test. The creative community spoke out in our favor. And by the way, there are directors and producers lining up every week to talk to us about signing on to our initiative. And so now the right thing is happening. A couple of leading studio executives said, we don't want to have this war anymore. Let's actually talk to our partners in exhibition. That's where they should have started, by the way. But at least they're there now in saying, let's reach out and find a model that works, where we can do premium releases to the home without invading that window so aggressively that it damages cinema sales. And so the talks are ongoing in the States, and they're encouraging. And I am particularly grateful that we can come back together as partners and try to work this out. Another thing that's happening, which is a good sign, is that other distributors are saying, we'll create video on demand, but we'll do it later. Lionsgate just announced a picture in which they're releasing the video on demand at 90 days instead of 60, and the DVD 30 or 40 days later. In other words, create these extra channels of distribution and make more money as a studio, but don't do it at the same time you're trying to show movies in the cinema. That's a good response. So again, I'm encouraged that although we had a struggle during the year, we're coming back together as an industry to try and find creative models that can grow the business for all of us. So, in the end, I see these challenges as surmountable. I see our business as something that's going to continue to grow. Our ticket sales are going to continue to go up, the box office revenue is growing, and that is very, very exciting. But I know that we've had a lot of substance and we've got a really exciting panel ahead of us. So I'm going to stop there and say thank you for letting me come to Australia. I really enjoy your convention, your friendship, and all that you do to bring movies to our patrons. Thank you very much.